live right now, and should be coming up any second. Oh, now it's got a lag. There we go, redirecting. And we are live now. All right. Well, for those of you at home that are watching, welcome to the PFunny Comedy Show. My name is not PFunny. My name is actually Perry Kurtz. I call it PFunny because many years ago when I was on the road, I would say my name is Perry Kurtz, and they would go Perry Wirtz, Perry Hertz, and I go like Perry Kurtz, Perry like in Perry Funny, and a woman went like, "Oh, Perry Funny, like very funny." I don't know what it is with people on the road, but they all have to laugh with their mouth crooked, or the other side. I think it's the law when you're in Arkansas, because they get so few of the jokes. So I decided to just change part of my name to become Perry Funny. And I had to go out and buy a URL, which is the Universal Resource Locator, which is what you type in with www to Perry Funny. So I can tell people, yeah, go to my website. It's called Perry Funny. And they go, oh, Perry Funny, like very fun. And they all do the same thing. I don't get it. But whatever, they're happy and they're laughing at me and they're packing my shows like they are tonight. We barely have room to get everybody in. Okay, we got some extra room. This is my own Zoom. I pay for this, and I believe I can get 100 people in here for an unlimited amount of time. One time I put it on Facebook Live, and the next day we had 310 views. So I think that's pretty good. So thank you very much for the applause. Yeah. So I'm still alive. I have been going through hell. I've been going through liver cancer, which has been screwing up my life. Pulled a tumor out of my hip on July 21st. I went in with a big lump on the side and they cut it out. And I was laying there on the table and they bring it to me in a little glass jar. And it looked just like my little finger, even had two bends in it. And I said, well, give me that. And the doctor goes, no. I said, why not? He goes, we have to send it down to pathology. I go, but I made that. I grew that myself. That belongs to me. He goes, no, you can't have that. And so they sewed me up and I got infected because they didn't sew me up right. And I went back again because I was infected. Now they told me I had a blood disease and I would have to come in for blood transfusions. So I went into the hospital 3 days in a row. And the third day, I'm on the table and the doctor says, boy, I hope the sepsis doesn't kill you. I went, what? He says, yeah, you got sepsis. And at the top of my lungs, I yelled, are you fucking kidding me? And right next to where I was the doctor's lounge. And I heard all this laughter coming out of the doctor's lounge. I guess they were listening in and they found it kind of funny. So they sewed me up. They replaced my blood, 8 transfusions. I have no blood that belongs to me. It's all other people's blood. Then, a couple nights later, I had a heart attack. Went in the hospital for a couple days, came home, and 2 nights later, I went out to an open mic out in Griffith Park and did stand up and talked about the situation. Then about a week later, doctor calls up and says, "Oh, your sepsis is boiling." I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Well, we keep a little bit of your blood to see what's happening." He says, "And it's growing again. I have to give you this medication." So he gave me this medication, Valixiclavar, something like it. It's a super antiviral. And I took it, and 3 days later, I lost my mind. I could barely get out of bed. All I could do was dial 911 on the phone. Sorry, I didn't mean to say dial. Push 911. Do we still say dial? When we push buttons on the phone, we punch in 911 and they sent an ambulance for me, took me to a hospital. They kept me there for 18 hours, wouldn't treat me, wouldn't do anything. I was just wandering around, didn't know what was going on. And I kept going up and saying, listen, can I get out of here? She says, no, you can't go. I went back to this little room. They put me in a closet, literally bigger than the bed. And the bed is as wide as my shoulders. And then they moved me to another room because they were going to have a bunch of people using that bathroom. And then they put me next to a guy who had an electric hacksaw cutting away at the drywall over my head. I don't know if you ever seen what comes out of drywall. It's white powder. It looks like cocaine. Well, it was all over my face, and I wish I'd gotten a buzz from it, but I didn't. So I finally wiped it off, went up to the nurse's desk and said, listen, I'm leaving. She says, you can't leave. I said, then I'm calling the cops. She goes, oh, then you can leave. They sent a doctor down. He has me sign a paper. I said, why am I still here? He said, well, we have to change your kidneys. I said, what? Yeah, your kidneys are misfunctioning. I said, they're misfunctioning? You mean malfunctions? Oh, that's what I meant to say. I said, so you got a set of matching kidneys just laying around upstairs in the hospital that you're going to plug in them? He goes, well, we can get them. I said, I'm out of here. And I went home. And then about 4 days later, I had another heart attack. Wound up back in a different hospital. I didn't go back that one. And then I waited 4 days and I went out and did stand up again. So then on Thanksgiving, the winds out here, I live right next to what's called the Whiteman Airport in a town where everybody is brown. I'm the only white person in the town. I live in Pacoima, which means no white people. I am it. I have to drive quickly down the street so they shoot at my car. And the wind was 75 miles an hour. And my car was shaking and I heard the alarm go off and the gate had blown down. So I went out to lift the gate up. It was still attached with a lock. So I took the lock off and the wind blew it down and it broke the chip off my elbow, the tip off my elbow. So I spent Thanksgiving in the hospital. So by December, my big joke was, so I've had sepsis, I had tumor, I've been getting cancer treatments, I had my elbow broke, and I can't get no pussy. What the fuck is going on in this world? I think God owes me some action. So the bottom line is they started giving me treatment for cancer, which they found was in little tumor. And then December and January, they forgot to call me. Just forgot. And my doctor calls up, he says, why have you even been in this yet? Well, they didn't call me. He goes, oh, and this is so cool. The doctor filed a lawsuit against the state for elder abuse, claiming that they didn't bother to call me because they knew I was old and I would forget. And he won. So he got me proton treatment, which cost $26,000 a week. I've had 6 weeks of it, and the tumor is less than an eighth of an inch in diameter. It's the size of a match head, and it's almost gone. Doctor said I am a textbook case. He's writing me up. I'm surviving. I still got my hair. I can't even wrinkle my forehead if I try, but I am getting these weird spots. I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm alive. I'm alive, and that's all that matters. I still feel young. I still got a 16-year-old daughter and an ex-wife, and we'll talk about that later. But let's get on to our first comedian because she's got a young child waiting for her, right, Mel?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Hi.
Well, people always ask me, how do I book my show? Because I get 10, 20 requests from people. I just got another one, a friend request from somebody I've never heard of. And it's because I post that I have these shows. And I tell people, first of all, I have to have seen you before and know that you're funny and that you can do 10 to 15 minutes. Because there's some comics, they do these Zoom shows, they do 6, 7 minutes and they run out of air. I want people who are actually funny. And second of all, I have to like you as a person. If I don't like you and I don't consider a friend, you're not on the show. So all you guys, even Mark, I consider you friends. So let's get the show rolling with someone I've known for many, many years, a very wonderful lady and a mother too. So, you know, she puts up with a lot of crap, and he's not in diapers anymore, is he?
By no means.
No. All right, good. And are you?
No, but aren't you?
No, I'm not. Everything's still continent. I actually got a call about a doctor's appointment. She said, are you continent? I said, well, I'm in the United States. She knows. I mean, are you wearing that? No, everything's still under control. I'm still functioning, except for my brain. So, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever is still here, please put your hands together and welcome to the Stagel area. Welcome to the window, Melanie Baldonado.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. So kind of you. Just in case you didn't hear, that was my son celebrating Perry's continence. Congratulations, Perry. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. I was thinking about the first time I met Perry, which was at a dive bar, kind of. I was actually in that neighborhood today. It was like off of Sepulveda, close to Reseda. And I was thinking, wow, like I was performing there with Carrie, and now I'm in my living room performing, which is kind of an upgrade.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, Perry, I could be performing in my bathroom and it would still be an upgrade from the bar that we were performing at. And Perry, I will always remember this because I was a young comedian, and Perry walked up to me and he said, you know, if you weren't a comedian, I'd have sex with you, which was like really odd, because I was like, well, why would you think that you automatically have a chance? Because like to anybody, that's like me going down to Boeing and being like, you know, if you were in El Segundo, I would work here. They'd be like, do you have any of the qualifications that we would look for in hiring a candidate? They'd be like, no. Like, why do you think you could work here? I don't know, because I hold a microphone. Can you hear my son?
Yeah.
Look, I think this is Marilyn Monroe's fault, by the way. Okay, she had some quote of like, if a man can make me laugh, he can work his way into my heart, or like whatever. Okay, let's be honest. Joe DiMaggio was not funny. Arthur Miller, basic, like good playwright, like kind of sad plays. So don't listen to her when it comes to that, okay, guys? The reason why you guys get any action going on the road is because there are a lot of lonely people out there, okay? A lot of lonely people. And the reality is they can have relations with you and nobody will ever find out because you leave the next day. Okay, so comedians, chill out on those egos. Jeez Louise. Oh man, like Perry mentioned, I am a mom. Don't all applaud at once.
Yay.
That's okay. Thank you. I am a mom. Sometimes when people hear this, they say, oh, you look good for someone who's had a baby.
But what?
Which is a really odd way to give a compliment. Because anytime you give a compliment on someone's appearance, followed by a condition for that compliment, you look great for someone who's 65. What you're pretty much saying is, you could look better. Your circumstances have lowered the bar for you. Oh man, you want to hear something really funny? On my little lights, I have cheat sheet notes for auditions. Like I have, oh man, and I'm attached. These are roles that I don't get. I get more play action off of failed audition tapes than I do off of the like actual booking the roles. In fact, I think that I got a role from sending in a failed audition tape from a different audition.
Wow.
And that is real and true. Yeah. You guys, I want to be, for many years, I've had this goal of being a kinder, gentler person. Like I just, but the thing is, like, how do you measure that? Right? How do you measure that you were better than the year before when it comes to kindness, gentleness, reactions and responses to people, patience? It's a hard measurable, but I figured out that I have improved at least a little bit because I threw away my sonogram. Not the one from my first baby. It was a different one. Stay with me. You see, one fine day while going to the grocery store, I opened my car door, looked down, and on the parking lot was a sonogram and 3 lottery scratchers. So I took a picture of it and put it on Instagram, because whenever you see anything peculiar, you have to take a picture of it and put it on social media, or else it didn't happen. So it is there. You can find it at Melanie B Comedy. It is there. Sonogram, 3 lottery tickets. And I thought for a moment, and I thought about the person who dropped that sonogram. Like what happened? Was the person thinking, oh my God, it's my lucky day. I'm going to be a parent. I'm going to get some lottery scratchers. Scratch the first ticket. That's not a winner. Scratch the second ticket. That's not a winner. Scratch the third ticket. That's not a winner. Screw this loser baby. Bad luck. It's like went on their way.
Yeah.
Did the person scratch the tickets and think, if I don't win this lottery, I'm not keeping this baby? Well, I guess that's my answer. Was there a fourth ticket that was a winner? Person's like, $150,000. Screw this baby. I'm going to Bali. What happened? But I actually picked up that sonogram and put it in my pocket because I saw the value in me keeping it. See, I figured that if any boyfriend in the future ever did me dirty, I would take another picture of that sonogram and text it over. And when he asked the only question he could ask, which is that my baby? I would have to tell the truth and say, I don't know. It could be. And then I would block him forever.
Yeah.
I was planning revenge on someone I hadn't met yet for something that had never even happened. But I realized that a couple years later, and I thought, you know what? I don't think that I should do that to somebody. That's not a kind thing to do. So I threw away the sonogram. That's right. Don't applaud me all at once. That's right. Now I'm back to slashing tires.
Right.
Feels good. Oh man, it's just been a really weird time. I got my second vaccine. Thank you very much. My grandmother got hers. Thank you. Thank you. I can now go make out with people again if I want to. Not Perry, of course.
No,
I don't even already crossed that bridge.
I don't even kiss me.
You don't kiss you anymore?
No.
Oh. Well, that would be sad if you really liked yourself, but I don't think you do, Perry, because you're a comedian.
Right.
So, like, bunch of people who don't really like ourselves. That's a very like honest assessment, though, right? Because let's take a moment away from comedy. What comedy is this eternal strive to be better than we were the night before.
Right.
Like every time this strive. And then even I've heard, like, when you film your hour special, your brain will still go to what you could have said. You're like, oh, why did I tape that one? I should have saved it for the next special. This eternal craziness. Even if we love and if we are like somewhat balanced, we're never really balanced. So, Perry, you should kiss yourself, because truly, who else is going to? I feel the same. Also, all right, so let's get back to jokes, and then we'll talk about some real stuff with comedy, since we might be the only people in the room, and maybe 300 people will watch tomorrow. You know, you never know. I am a mom, and I've been thinking about my parents, like, for the past probably 10 years. But we're so connected to our mothers. We're so connected to our mothers that I think that if you stopped, quieted everything down, closed your eyes, and went back into your cellular history, you could feel your mom's thoughts when she found out she was pregnant with you. My mom had 5 kids. These were my mom's thoughts. Kid number 1, oh my God, we've only been married for 4 months. Kid number 2, oh no, not again. That's me. Yeah, I was, oh no, not again. Yeah, that's me. Kid number 3, well, we already got 2. Kid number 4, oh my God, no, this can't be happening. Oh my goodness. How is it that I'm pregnant with my 4th child from my husband, who I'm separated from? Oh my God. He came over to visit the kids, and we started talking, and it felt like old times. But oh my God, it's not fair. He hasn't changed at all. To child number 5.
Ooh.
Reunited and it feels so good. So my mom's thoughts. I have like my hair all on my face. This is weird too, because usually when you're performing stand-up, you don't see yourself. So like I could probably feel it on stage, but here I'm like, oh my God, I look like Medusa. I am a kid of the 1980s. I think, Mark, I think you're a 90s kid. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a 1980s kid. Thank you. Yes, I know. I look good, but don't like, you look good for I get it. I would now like to do an impersonation of my father in the 1980s. It does work better. It works better with the mic. There's something called.
It came across fine.
Why? Thank you. The mic just is so much. It's just like, the mic is like our part of our right hand or our left hand. It's like this thing that we're so used to that, like, unless anyway, it's just like one of those things when I'm getting used to doing this and having a headset. Like, I mean, but let's be honest, Richard Jeni had one of the best specials that's ever been taped, and he was all headset. So life goals. Okay, if you've not seen the Richard Jeni Big Steaming Pile of Me, please make sure that you see it. All right, let's get back to some comedy. There's something called mom brain, right? They say that when your mom brain. It's like they used to think that it was an urban myth, okay? It's when women have a child, sometimes they seem like very absent-minded afterwards. They can't remember names of people they grew up with, directions of places where they visited frequently. Can't remember the desire to give a blowjob. But I know it's guys in the rooms because nobody's relating right now. But it turns out that mom brain is actually a biological phenomenon. You see, when a female has a baby, the gray matter in her brain changes.
Right.
It actually renews itself. And gray matter is where memories are stored. So what happens is her brain pushes out old memories. And this is something she has no control of. She has no control over those memories that are gone. So when a woman seems absent-minded after having a baby, like, she has an excuse. It's really mom brain. There's no excuse for dads. Let's be honest, dads, something happens to dads. You know that funny guy that used to be able to tell jokes? Yeah, what are they called? Dad jokes, right? Loses. Something gets lost on dad. My dad, I don't know what happened to my dad. It's a lucky day if he spells my first name correctly. I always imagine him trying, being like M-E-L. My nickname is Mel for a reason. I don't think you could get past the 3 letters. Mel. That'll work. She's got a roof over her head. Why does she need self-esteem? That's okay. Phone calls from my father, unpredictable. One year he called me up and I answered and he was like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I said, Dad, hold on. He said, yeah. I said, I said, it's October. He said, I know. I said, my birthday is in February. And there was just this pause. And I felt like he was trying to figure out which of his 5 kids was born in October. None of us are even born near October. No September babies, no November babies, no, like, none of us. But he still went with it. He was like, well, happy early birthday. I was like, thanks, Dad. Send a gift. He never does. Favorite phone call of all time was when he called up and said, hey, Melanie, I've met someone. And I said, gee, Dad, that's great. And he said, she's very special to me. And I said, okay, Dad. He said, I think I'm going to marry her. I said, gee, Dad, that's fine and all. But don't you think you ought to divorce Mom first? It took 4 years, or was it 6? I think it was 6 years from the time of that phone call for him to sign the divorce papers.
Wow.
And I was happy for that entire time, like beside myself with joy. Not because I was hoping that my parents would get back together, but because it allowed me to think, maybe he doesn't know how to spell his name either. Terry, how much time do I have? Zoom is always throws me off a little bit, so I
You
hope I'm
have
not
37 more minutes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 37 seconds. I was like, I am a pro. What's up?
No, you're right up at 15, but if you're having fun, just
Am
go,
I?
because I don't know if the other guy's coming. So just go.
Okay. So I am a mom. My son's father and I broke up. God, I guess it's a couple years ago. And I told a few friends, but I also told the wrong friend. Let me tell the wrong friend to tell any bad news to is your friend who sees the glass as
Oh,
half empty. You know, like the
right.
rose colored person who's like, it's all about perspective. Oh my goodness, the world is wonderful. Let me get you some crystals. You're gonna be great. Oh my goodness, it's just another springboard to another part of life. Like that person. Yeah. When she found out, she said, oh my God, do you know what you and your son need? And I said, tell me. And she said, you should get a cat. And I said, you mean you want me to go out and get another mouth for my neighbors to feed? Like, no, I love her. I still love her because she's a good partier. These are like the little things that I would like not say in a show because it's wasted words. Like this is a show, you know, but this is actually my learning preschool room. So I'm feeling very comfortable. And this is coffee because I'm a mom and I have stuff to do. And oh man, you guys, I do tend to have the smartest girlfriends in the world. Yeah, no matter what I say, they always come back with, I know, right?
I hate that. I hate when people say that.
I know, right? You're like, oh, okay. why do I even bother talking? You already knew. Smart girlfriends. I also usually date very smart men. Smartest guy to this day, engineer out of Long Island, New York. One time I told him, babe, this is fantastic. And he said, I know, right? And I said, get out of me.
I love the way you said that.
Thank you. Thank you. I usually date nice guys. You know how they talk about like, oh, girls only like mean guys? I usually wait for the nice ones. But there's a drawback in dating the nice guy. And it's that not everybody is going to be nice in every moment. And we are especially going to be at our worst to the people that we're closest with.
It's true.
So when you date a nice guy, what happens is his coworkers and other people who know him, they get really excited for you. And they say, oh my God, you're dating him? You're so lucky. And it makes me want to lean in and say, no, you're lucky because you've never seen his bad side.
Good point.
Truth be told, I just realized there's a callback there to another joke, and I haven't done. This is my 5th time doing stand-up comedy since October, like maybe 6th now. So I just realized, shoot, you guys. So I will abandon that one because that is not a professional move to do.
Oh, start over.
No, that's okay. You know, my grandmother is still on it though. She's so cute. She'll just straight up tell me, she's like, I don't know why you can't find a good man to marry you. But it's hard. Isn't it hard to find the one person you're going to want to spend the rest of your entire life with? And who's willing to pay for everything? Tough. You know, I think to have a real honest statement though, money is easier to come by than true love. And there are people out there trying to make money off of our quest for true love who have no business doing it. Case in point, Steve Harvey. Yeah. Steve Harvey wrote a book on relationships. It's an advice book for women, and it's a bestseller.
What?
Yeah, ladies, why on earth would we take advice on relationships from someone we would never have sex with? Just the thought of Steve Harvey trying to tell me how to maneuver romance gives me the same feeling as when a stranger in an elevator looks over at me and says, I think it's going to rain today. Sure, I could listen to what he has to say, but I'd rather get wet.
Yeah.
Thank you. My timing was off there. I knew it. That's okay.
So it's Perry's.
But look, and I'm not a pro. I'm not an expert when it comes to love. I've never been married, but I have been in quite a few long-term relationships. So I know exactly how it feels to be as lonely as that tree that fell in the woods with no one else to hear it. Because half of the time you're laying there thinking, why did I even bother? And then out of nowhere, you start to feel like the cast of the hit television show Roseanne, because you're like, oh my God, are we back on again? I think we're back on again. Yes, we're back on again. And then someone says something mean-spirited, and it's back to ground zero.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it's like, are we back on again? I think we're back on again. It's not quite the same, and you don't know how long.
Oh.
Maybe forever, like that movie Up. And that's what I want. I want someone to love me until death. My death. My death.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of the right one to end this one on. Yeah, I think I am going to end this one on this one, which is not entirely a joke. I'll tell you the most accurate, which is not entirely a joke. It's just a true story. The most real thing that anyone has ever told me about marriage. Actually, I'm gonna do this one. You guys, I have I don't know if you heard it, but I have speech impediments. And I do my best to try to work my way around them and fake it through like I don't have speech impediments. And I know that you might think like, oh, well, that's an odd career choice then to want to become a stand-up comedian. But an even more career choice is the job that I do during the day, which is I work with special needs kids. And well, let me tell you about my speech impediment. Sometimes, for the most part, I can't say my R's. So sometimes they come out very weird. I also jumble the words in my mouth. So I'll try to, it's like I miss the consonants. So syllables will run together in a very weird way. So either way, I do work with special needs kids, most of who have speech therapy several times a week. Now, just because my kids have special needs, it doesn't mean that they're not smart. And it especially does not mean that they're not intuitive.
Right.
Which means that I'm just one R slip away from them finding out that I should not be teaching them. You guys have a great night. My name is Melanie Baldonado, and I look forward to hearing your guys' sets. Thank you.
Yeah, let's hear from Melanie Baldonado. Wow. Melanie, that was great. When is your birthday in February?
It is on the 18th.
Okay, mine is the 5th. All right.
Nice.
But I related to so much what you were saying. Like the thing about that you had, I can't tell by looking at your face that you had 4 kids. My wife had 4 kids, and a couple people have said to her, you have 4 kids? You don't look like you had 4 kids. And my wife said, they didn't pop out of my
Harry.
mouth.
Harry, this is a classic case of a dude that half listens when a girl is speaking, by the way. Harry, my mom had 5 kids. I have 1.
Right. But people
Classic
say
case
that.
of senility is what it is.
Who said that?
What do you
But
think?
no, I have heard that phrase before. They've said that to my wife. And I mean, I've got 4 kids, but 3 are stepchildren. And they're all good kids. None of my kids drink or smoke cigarettes, but occasionally they will have a joint, but only if they can inhale. They're very particular about that. But that was great, and I love your naturality in the way you delivered. It didn't seem forced in any way, and it was great. One more time, let's hear from Mommy Mel. Mel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and while you were sitting there, the painting in back of you, there's a black thing on there, and it looked like you had a ponytail sticking up on the top of your head through half the show. I kept looking at that. Just weird placement. So, anybody from the studio audience have any questions?
Perry's still not listening, but he still wants to bang Melanie. That's just an
No,
observation.
I've upgraded. I've said to you, I say to women, you're very lovely, you're very intelligent, and if you didn't have self-respect, I would hit on you. But you know what? They all have self-respect, and they tell me that, so I don't bother anymore. I mean, I'm still married, 31 years, still married to the same woman, but we've been separated for 11, so I've been happy for 11 years. And then I've spent the last year paying for their hotel room. Now I finally got them into an apartment. It still cost me $2,800 to get them started, so I'm still paying for that. And then yesterday I got it. She wanted to go shopping at Walmart. I said, no, we're going to the 99-cent store. Everything you need, you can get for $1. So she got 30 things for $32 instead of $90. So it's a matter of training, but I still have fun with my wife. She's very, very funny. That was part of the reason I married her. She was able to make me laugh. And you guys know, as comics, we don't laugh at regular people. It takes a lot to get us to laugh because we've heard just about everything or we've thought about everything. But she was always able to make me laugh, and that was a good thing. And now I have a 16-year-old daughter, and she's very, very funny. And I still love them both. What can I say? Now, I'd like to bring to the windows a gentleman I met a while ago, and I haven't seen you in a long time. Actually, used to know you in person and work with you when we were live here in Los Angeles. And he's funny. And how long have you been in Hong Kong?
Oh my God. I think 10 months.
All right. So
Yeah.
you were here before it kicked, and you said, "Fuck it, I'm getting the hell out while I can."
I mean, I will tell you about it later.
All right, yeah, because they're saying June 17th, everything's opening up out here. So who knows what's going on? Well, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the window, Steve Lee.
All right. What's going on, everybody? And it's really interesting. Welcome, first of all, welcome to our therapy session, especially after Melanie's so-called her set. um, it looks weird from my screen because I have the gallery view. I have the speaker view at the bottom, like so. Her picture is bigger, and she have all her makeup ready. Her ring fresh. By the way, she's using a ring fresh as a light. So like it gives. I used to be a photographer, so it gives her like a little bit more of a a fashion shoot kind of looks better. And so it looks so interesting that like the show so-called show we're in it looks like we're three weird dudes trying to get on like a dating game show with her.
The dating game.
Yeah, it's a dating game show. It's so weird. By the way, Mark, it's incredible because all that time throughout the last 20 minutes, you did not move. I thought you were buffing. You know what I mean? You're just like there. That's it. Like you didn't even blink. Like that's incredible.
Forgive me for paying attention.
So long story short, I used to be in LA, trying to pursue my empty dream. Oh my God. How did that go? After 2020, all my shows, big and small, are canceled. The first week. I'm like one of those old school kind of guy. I don't cry much. Even though I lost my dad like in 2019, I cry a little bit. But like, oh man, that first week, everything canceled. Like, ooh, that was like the scariest moment. And then after that, like you're numb. Like when you're like a New Yorker type dude, you know what I mean? like I'm from Hong Kong originally, so it's like a big city kind of guy. So it's very New Yorker mindset. Like you're just numb, right? You're just numb about everything. And I realized, well, there aren't that much you can do, right? And then you're stuck at home. I'm not one of those no mask. I'm Asian, okay? Like I know I'm afraid of everything, okay? um, and so I hide at home. Oh, by the way, I got my news from Asia earlier. So I was like one of those guys who like stock up on a mask. Hey, I'm an immigrant, okay? Like that's how people like me survive. And this is how weird. There was one of my friend's dad. He is Chinese too. He's an immigrant. Like he's one of those true immigrant. Dude, I think he has some kind of Asperger or something like that. He bought the entire store of all the masks. He's the guy who bought them all. Like, I was late. And then he's an Uber driver. So turn out he bought like the whole store full of boxes and boxes of masks. And he has like a hatchback car, So like his entire back of the car is full of boxes of masks. It was like like we remember the shutdown started around April, right? Like March, April. And so what he did was he gave free masks to everybody in his passenger seat. So he gets 5 stars.
Smart.
Dude, oh man, this whole thing. The lockdown and Perry, are you in retirement?
Well, I did retire a couple years ago because you could make money doing comedy out here. But I moved into doing senior shows about 16 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And that was paying my bills very well. I mean, I only had to work like 8 hours a month to pay all my bills and support my family because I've always supported them, even though we've been separated. But then when the COVID hit, the first places to close were the senior shows. And I lost like $35,000 last year.
Oh.
So
Wow.
thank God I get $900 in Social Security. And I'm living off of that.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, just do what you can, right?
Well, I'm
During this time.
70. I have a right to retire. So
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the weird thing. Like when you're quarantined like that, like, it forces almost everybody to retirement.
yeah,
I felt like all of us get a taste of what our retirement felt like, would be like.
it's true.
I just ended up like staying at home playing video games. Like when you're old, I don't know what kind of video game it would be like when people like nerds like me in the future would be like. They'll be like old people video game maybe like back in the future. So I felt like I was stuck at home, and I started watching video game people play video games nowadays, and nerds like me watch them. It's kind of fun. It's basically entertainment in a way.
Yeah.
And I don't have to play the game. Like this is how this works. Like we don't have like this is how like snowflakes we are, because we don't even want to play the game. We just want to watch people play our games. And so like at the beginning you're watching like your usual channels, and after a while like you get so much time on your hand, but you're trapped inside. So I started watching Nature Channel. Like I never watched Nature Channel. Like like I'm kind of a nerd. I don't ever go out or anything like that. And I also have a disability, so it's hard for me to like walk up to mountains, and also, like I'm not very active physically. That's my excuse. and I started watching Nature Channel, and I realized, oh, because we can't go out anymore. It's like something we can't do, and those Nature Channel is our fantasy. So it's like those Nature Channel is like our quarantine porn. Yeah. And I started watching bees channel, like little bees building up like honeycomb. It's really magical. It's like they build from nothing to like a beautiful honeycomb, and like they store up all the honey, and all of the honey is like it's so nutritional. I feel like I can beat the virus. Like it's so healthy. and and it and then like they go on to like they suck nectar from flowers, and a lot of flowers, and they bloom once a year to have like it's like it's a way for flowers to have sex. You know what I mean? And they only bloom once a year. Like imagine a flower is like a human, and like they see that little bee or butterfly flying towards them. They're like, "Oh hey, what's up, bees? Yeah, little butterfly, come suck on my nectar. Yeah, help me, get my flower wife next door pregnant. Yay!" And they see this little bees and butterflies sucking on them, and then they fly to the next flower. It's kind of like cheating on them. That concept is so weird. And then I realized, like, these flowers only have sex once a year. Wow, they get way more action than me. Oh.
I was waiting on that one.
Yeah, right. Uh, well, I mean, the pandemic. Oh, by the way, one reason I am in Hong Kong. I always think I was in Hong Kong, and now I am in Hong Kong. Because I was thinking, so my show, I had a big show coming. It postponed from March to September, and they were supposed to fly me to Texas to do a big show. It's called Skankfest. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
So they postponed it to September. So I was, and my dad passed away in 2019 in Hong Kong, and his let me give you like a little situation in Hong Kong. A housing situation is like one of the most expensive real estate in the world, right? And even for dead people. So if you want to get like first of all, cemetery are all full. So there's only like all these buildings have like little locker to put your ashes, your loved one's ashes. And if you want to get it right away, you have to pay the equivalent of probably like 200,000, like 50,000 US dollar or something like that, like the equivalent of that.
Wow.
Yeah. To rent a private place if you want your loved ones to get a spot like right away. So there's another option, is a government option, which is you pay like what $300 US dollar for 10 years, but you gotta wait for 2 to 3 years. Yeah, and so my dad passed away in 2019, and my dad is like a businessman type, like really smart kind of thing. I think he in health he's got his elbow his way through. So all of a sudden we got our spot in like within a year. And this is how the stereotype demanding Asian tiger daddy is. During the he found a spot in March, and we need to do the ceremony in probably like in the summer. In the middle of COVID, he wanted me to fly all the way from LA during COVID to Hong Kong. By the way, Hong Kong has a mandatory quarantine for 14 days.
Right.
Going through all that to test out, I need to be a man. By the way, and quit my LA imaginary showbiz career. This is how fucking Asian my dad is, even after his death. Yeah. I think my dad started it. I think my dad started COVID. So
Just to fuck with you.
Yeah, right. So another thing. So Hong Kong used to have like a pretty high level of freedom of speech, almost like the United States. And then after the riot in 2019, so at the beginning of this year, China decided to crack down on this free speech, mostly like they call it the national security law. So basically, even comedians have to watch our mouth, especially complaining about China. But another good thing is the COVID cases is less than 10 every day. And we had a couple months last year in the summer, we had 0 cases, people.
Wow.
Yeah. And do you remember last year, Donald Trump White House had about 30 cases,
Yeah.
right? That
Yep.
week. That week, Hong Kong has similar cases for 7.5 million people. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep. Yeah, the United States is a joke. Like I have to. Yeah, it's like it's hard for me to tell Americans. Like I still see all these no mask people. Melanie, I miss your face. Come on, come back. This is our therapy session, okay? Anyway, so do you remember do you still see no mask people? I want to ask some of you,
Yeah,
especially comics.
Yeah, out here they've really reduced the necessity. They told people you don't have to wear a mask unless you're like on Earth. I think that's the restriction. But no, I've seen people in their cars alone with masks on. It's like, are you retarded? Then they point to me.
Yeah, so there are so many I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sometimes I forget. Yeah, sometimes I forget that I'm wearing my mask and I'm driving. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my God, I was that idiot. But I'm so used to wearing it like in the store and like just, ugh. Yeah, I've been that person.
I guess you're
Mark,
retarded, Melanie.
Yeah, Mark, are you the quarantine one or are you like, it's not that serious?
No.
This is my mask.
I look at Perry and his mask. I don't want to take any attention away from him.
I will turn this car around.
So there's so many like comics who I argue with one of the comics about percentage. He said the people who die from COVID is 0.003%. And after a while, like talking to him, it's like you realize that person doesn't even know what a percentage is.
It's true.
Jesus Christ. Like, you can't argue with people like that. It's like telling Americans about, like all the COVID measure. It's like telling North Korean what freedom of speech is. It's absolutely impossible. And, by the way, those jokes are brought you by Communist China.
Just don't tell them.
Laughing at Americans. I have to, just in case they're spying on me right now.
Could be.
Another thing about my disability, Melanie talks about she teaches kids with. Are you a teacher? Are you a school teacher, Melanie?
Unmuting. I'm a paraeducator.
Oh, okay, cool. So I was born with a disability, but mentally I'm slightly faster because how I find out is I can curse. I was born to be a comedian, I guess. I mean, do you guys remember? I don't know if in America, because I grew up in Hong Kong, so in a younger age, I had my education in Hong Kong. I went to a school for disabled kids, and they have there's like a typical essay, right, for kids. It's like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Do all of you have that?
Yep.
Right? All of you have that, right? This is what I wrote. So I saw my other schoolmates who wrote like, "Oh, I want to be a policeman. I want to be a fireman." I'm like, dude, you're in a wheelchair. You want to be a fireman? Like, really? Get lost. Like, I was like that. Like, this is how. Yeah, I see that. Like, this is how. See what I said? I only have 10 minutes. Like, but when you're a fucking comedian, you just want to talk all day.
Well, you actually done 20,
Oh, I'm sorry.
but
I'm
it
so
seemed
sorry.
like 30.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mark.
Sure.
Don't apologize to me.
Yeah.
So let me finish this one then.
Sure.
I'll go. Yeah, and then I realized this is bullshit, right? This is how much of a comedian I was. I wrote I wanted to be a remote control toy car.
What?
First of all, I don't want to work, and it's fun, right?
Right.
Oh my god, like I know. Anyway, so before I go, one quick joke. My little hands a little bit crooked, and I hate when my other friends like I'm kind of a nerd. So, by the way, I'm a nice guy, Melanie. Anyway. This is too much. Is this me too? Like, is that line me too? Okay, all right. I'm just yeah. I thought it's funny. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to apologize. Okay, anyway. So friends want to hook me up all the time, and one time there was a girl. I was interning for a photography studio at the time, and there's a model. She's deaf. She couldn't hear. And my studio mate's like, Steve, come on, hey, come on, like that girl, that's your girl. And I was like, no, I mean, it's not like because I don't like her, it's just cute and all that.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think I can date her because I look at these. I think my hands definitely have strong accents. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, it's not gonna work out. All right, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Steve Lee, your hands have a speech impediment.
Yep.
There you
Later,
go.
guys. I'll
Way
be
to go,
around.
Steve.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll just turn off my sound and.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, Steve. I miss
Yep.
seeing you, man. Hanging out with you.
Yep.
All right, Steve Lee. Wow. Tokyo is a beautiful city. I was there. And
Hey, Perry! Perry,
Yeah.
it's fucking Hong Kong, okay? We're not Japanese. Anyway, I'm just saying.
What is it? Parrot,
Hong Kong-
do
I'm
you
looking
get
forward to
it
how he
on
messes
purpose?
my act up.
Isn't Hong Kong Japan?
Oh God,
Yeah, it's just
teach him geography, please.
Perry.
Okay,
No,
He's
I'm
talking about
back.
China
I'm
this
back.
whole
I'm so
set.
sorry.
I'm retarded.
Perry, I forgive you because
No.
you're an American old white American dude. It's okay.
I am 70. I'm not young anymore. I forget which room is mine, and there's only one that looks like it, so I know it. But from what I remember of Hong Kong, it was a beautiful city, and Tokyo was nice, and China was okay.
That's like saying what I remember of Los Angeles, it was a great city, and Vancouver was nice, and Mexico City was okay. Like they're just like not the same countries, Barry.
Right. I get confused. I've always been horrible with that stuff, but I like going over
Steve.
there because I was tall.
Yeah.
You know.
Steve, my son and I are learning Chinese
Oh,
because
ni hao.
ni hao, why not? We're preparing for the Chinese American merger, which is going to happen at some point. Like somehow something's going to happen. Like either it's going to be a takeover, or it's going to be merger. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be one or the other. So I would rather I'm preparing for a merger because I'm an optimist, you know.
Good.
But yeah, China is just so quickly developing. So yes, so we're learning Chinese. Also, Perry, my cousin is half Japanese, and we're very used to guys coming up to her at the bar being like, "Oh, so what kind of, like, what are you?" Like asking her dumb questions. And one time a guy asked her, "What's the difference between China and Japan?" She was like, "Well, Japan's an island." He was like, "Oh, like Hawaii," and I was just done. I was like, I can't anymore. Like, what is wrong with people?
Well, really quick, like 15 seconds. I have a comedian friend. He married a girl from Taiwan, and his first date, he was asking her, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Taiwan." "Oh, I like Thai food."
Oh my
But they are
God.
married, you know. They are
Thailand?
married and have kids. So hey,
So he must have had something, huh?
yep.
Well, at least we
Good
know he
job.
had a
White.
penis.
Good job, he's white.
Yeah, that can
I'm
be a
just
big.
Lots
kidding.
of Thai food.
I'm sorry.
That's a big
I'm
closer
sorry
for
shitting
some
on white
people.
people.
That's all right. Go ahead. They deserve
It's
it.
pretty easy.
But
I'm sorry
men
I
are
talked for too
idiots.
long.
I hear
Yeah,
the
I'm
shit
gone.
men
All right.
say to women in bars, and it's like, how can you even live with yourself with the dumb shit you say? Men are just, you know, I mean, I won't fuck them because they're dumber than I am, and I'm pretty fucking stupid. And Mark will vouch on that one.
That you're not a
You're
man? Yeah, I'll
good.
vouch for that.
He'll tell you his insult for me was the best one I've ever gotten, and I use it all the time.
So
Steve,
you steal
What
my
was it?
material. That's good too.
yeah,
Wait. What was the insult?
I'm sure I'll say it, so don't worry about it.
yeah, he's
Okay,
got,
cool.
Okay.
yeah. On my birthday, I have roasts, and Mark has always been there. He's never missed one, and he
Well, I
came up
have.
with. You missed one out of 11
I've missed a
years.
couple
All right.
intentionally, but it's okay.
And I cried through the whole thing. But he's there, and he gets up there, and he just rips me a new one, and I love it. And so I would like to bring him into the window now.
Yay.
And please welcome to the stage the man known as Dark Mark.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. How many people are listening on Facebook, Perry?
I have no idea. I haven't even
That's a
looked.
0. How many comments have we had?
You can't tell on Facebook until like the next day. It doesn't tell you at that moment.
That's a 0. By the way, that's not me on the big screen, but that's Steve. But that's probably for the best, because Steve's a better looking guy. I like Steve. I've met Steve. I've met Melanie. In passing, but it's been a year. Like, we lost a year, so I haven't seen
Yeah.
you guys at least a year, probably 2-3 years. So it's good to see both of you. Perry, you gonna put my picture there at one of these days?
Oh,
or
I
is
keep
this
forgetting to.
Yeah,
hold
I mean,
on.
I love Steve. Trust me, I can watch Steve all night. But
It's better than looking at you.
Steve, move your lips so it's like I'm okay. There we go. Okay,
There we
thank
go.
you.
All right.
Thank you. Now you can see how bad I am with the green screen. So, by the way, if anybody's watching this, and you think that this is an anomaly of a show, like it's just a weird show that sort of happened, no, this is every Perry Kurtz show. This is every show I've ever done that Perry Kurtz has been involved in. First off, he starts the show with his medical history. For some reason, he thinks sepsis is hilarious. I've got cancer, I had heart attack, I got sepsis. Welcome to the show. That's what Perry does. And then Melanie, very funny. Can't get a man, but she's beautiful. I don't know how that happens. But then it happens. What are you gonna do? Everybody's hooking up with COVID except for Melanie, but she believes in true love, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Steve, and like I said, it's great that she talks about her mother having 5 children. Perry's like, I didn't know you had 5 children. And then Steve's like, I'm from Hong Kong. He's like, oh, I love Tokyo, and basically Perry is just. This is the same guy who tells me, you know what? I was at a karaoke room last night, and this 22-year-old totally wanted to do me, and I'm like, really? I can't buy anything he said. Perry Kurtz looks like Larry King with Down syndrome. That's what Perry Kurtz looks like. If you want to know.
That's right.
He's got the suspenders. He's got the stupid shirts. I didn't think I could do that after Larry King died, but there you go. Now you look like a dead man with Down syndrome. And I'm anyway. I'm Dark Mark. I'm the goth comedian. Everybody. It's been tough. It's been tough. They don't know how to adjust. Everybody's has been sitting at home, brooding, doing nothing. But I'm goth. I was doing that anyway. I was sitting there. I was depressed. I was just sitting. This is what I was doing before. My Valentine's Day was the same as it was before. You know what I did this Valentine's Day? I wept softly and listened to Tori Amos records. That's what I did. That's what I do every year. I have a date with Side One of Boys for Pele every year, and it never disappoints. Buy myself a candle at dinner. No, I like pasty white girls. That's why I like the goth look. I don't know if the goth clubs have not opened up yet, so I don't know.
No.
Because there's no indoor. You have to be indoors. So no goth people want to be out on the patio wearing all black with their makeup running. So no goth clubs have reopened yet. So I hope they do, because that's why I like to go into goth clubs. I'm getting older. I go to a regular club. I go up to a girl. She's like 25. She's like, ew, look at you. You're old. You go to a goth club, same 25-year-old, like, ooh, look at him. He's really old. Like Nosferatu. He's a vampire. Maybe I have a chance. I don't know. Plus, I like pasty white girls. I like them really pasty white. My ex-girlfriend was so white. She was an extra in Schindler's List. And they filmed her scenes in color. That's how white she was. I went to a party. I put her hand on the table like this. 5 guys tried to snort her fingers, okay? That's what I'm talking about when I say white. And I'm into the S&M thing. Perry, you're into that? Now I give Perry attention. He ignores me. I'm assuming Perry Kurtz is into S&M.
Somebody sent me a message. It's like, I can't talk to you now. I have something very important going on.
Oh, this is the other thing, too. Because Perry Kurtz started the show with 5 minutes on, there's so many comedians that want to get on the show. I get hundreds and hundreds of messages every week. Yeah. Somebody dropped out of this show. There's 3 people here.
There's another guy who was supposed to be here last night. He said he was going to be here. And I usually do 4 or 5 a show. And I wrote him and he hasn't responded.
And out of the thousands and thousands of people that messaged you this week, you can find another substitute, which is good, because I'm glad I'm headlining and I'm on the show with Steve and Melanie, and they're very funny.
Yeah.
I'm into the S&M lifestyle. I like a little spanky.
A little?
But I'm a big guy. It's hard to find S&M paraphernalia my size. That's why I started my own big and tall S&M store. It's called Payne Bryant. You might want to check it out. Payne Bryant. Steve, I don't play video games. I wish I did. I don't have video games. I don't have a system. And then I got the COVID. So I've been watching the worst movies. I don't know what happened to entertainment. It got so bad. I watched Porky's 4 and Cannonball Run 3. That's how I ran out of movies.
Oh,
I watched the 4-hour Justice League. I wanted to kill myself. It's like people are so bored they want crappy movies, but they want more of it. Yeah. Justice League was the worst movie I ever saw. Let me see it twice as long. That's what I want. I want a Godfather 3. That's what I want. And they're giving it to us. I've got a Zoom account. I think Zoom caused the pandemic. I got to be honest with you. I never heard of Zoom before this happened. Never heard of it. I do Skype. I do FaceTime. Never heard of Zoom. Soon as the pandemic hit, everybody's on Zoom.
Yeah.
A little suspicious, don't you think? I got a Zoom account, but I'll tell you what's good about Zoom. I've got to catch up with my family. My grandmother turned 98 years old a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and she still looks better than Perry. But it was hard to tell because we were on a Zoom call, and my aunt is holding the phone, so it's like, the whole concept was we could see my grandmother, she could see us, and yet this is the angle that we got the whole time was like
Right.
her chin. Hi guys, how are you? I'm 98 years old. Such a great birthday. Oh, it's so great. I don't know how she saw us, but like, oh, there's Mark. There's oh, you guys look so great. Like, it was like it's like you look great, Grandma. Your turkey neck looks just as young as it ever has. And let me tell you something. There's no shame in having a turkey neck at 98. I'm telling you that right now. I love my grandma. She's beautiful. And yeah, but it's so weird. It's so weird. I have a weird family too. Everybody's got a weird family. Everybody's got daddy issues, it looks like. Except for Perry, I don't know. He hasn't talked about his daddy yet, but maybe that's coming. Melanie's got her daddy, who's Latin playboy. Steve's got his daddy, who's an overbearing Asian. My father, love him. The toughest man alive. I know you're looking at me going, why is a man on a Monday night sitting in front of a green screen with a bunch of eye makeup on? Let me tell you why. Because my father's the toughest man alive. And I had to rebel against that, so I became a big wuss. And to the point where I'm putting eyeliner on, like, to soften the look. But my father was the only white chef in a soul food restaurant in Harlem. That's tough. One day, he works, the French fryer exploded and burned him over half his body. He worked another 3 hours, finished his shift. That's how tough he is. He has one nipple. He's got burns on his whole body. He's got one nipple. So you know how you always try to be like your father? I used to take like a lighter and try to burn my nipple off. I never could burn the nipple off. It's weird. Everybody I know, every single person I know is on Facebook except for my father. I said, Dad, why are you not on Facebook? He's like, I don't do that sissy crap. And by the way, when I do this live, I do not use that language. I use rougher language, somewhat offensive language. But Perry said, don't use offensive language on the show. It's going to be on Facebook Live. Then he says fuck about 3 times in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and talks about his kidney cancer. So my father, because that's hilarious. So my father, I actually drove cross country with my father from Buffalo, New York to Las Vegas. Or to San Diego. We went the whole way. So I'm in a car. First off, we're getting ready to go on the trip. So we get some water, we get some snacks. We're at Walmart, and he's like, hey, Mark. That's how he talks. Mark, we got to get an atlas. Like that, there's a new thing. It's called a phone. You type in the address you want to go, and it tells you how to get there. He's like, I don't do that sissy crap. I want something I can hold in my hands. So I go to the 25-year-old at Walmart. I said, you have an atlas. Then I have to explain what an atlas is. We were there for 3 hours. Finally, I got the manager. He's like, I think it's in the book. So we got an atlas. We're driving cross country. We end up in Colorado. After a 15-hour drive, we're getting snippy with each other. And we go in there, and the people behind the counter, they had to be on crack. They had to be on meth or something. They're like, hey, guys, how can I help you? Like, can we get a room? He's like, do you want a regular room or a 420 room? Dad is so tired. He's like, what's a 420 room? I'm like, don't worry about it, Dad. I'm not smoking a bowl in a room with you in Colorado. And I'll tell you what, the breakfast buffet was terrific. It was wonderful. It was very, very big breakfast buffet at the 420 Motel. But no, I've driven cross country a few times, and I recommend it for everybody. Actually, 5 years ago, or 2015, I got out of LA. I couldn't take it anymore. Steve was like, with your imaginary show business career, that's what I was thinking. I was treading water. I wasn't doing as well as I thought. So I moved to New Orleans because I love New Orleans, my favorite city. And I thought, this is going to be my chance to be in like I wanted it to be like the '90s, you know, a real goth kind of place, and it was like the '90s. But I stayed in the Seventh Ward, which is more like a Master P video. It was '90s, but it was a different kind of '90s. It was rough. I was in New Orleans. I was walking to the French Quarter and back, trying to lose some weight. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you want some weed? You want some weed?" And I don't smoke weed, folks. Like I need marijuana to get the munchies. I don't need it. I'm fat and I'm lazy anyway. I don't need marijuana. I was, you know, yeah, it's okay. He's like, wait a second, because I was wearing sweatpants. He's like, you're working out. I got just the thing for you. You ever try heroin? And I never tried heroin, so I got $20. I lost 20 pounds. It was great. It put it in my Slim Fast. It was awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody's hooking up. Everybody's hooking up except for myself. And Steve, the one thing I wanted to say about your act, which was very funny, because you were talking about, you know, things that you were substituting for porn. This porn.
Yeah.
This porn. If you have a Wi-Fi signal, you will have access to porn. Trust me on this. There's lots of porn to go around. Now, I personally do not masturbate to porn. Because anybody can do that. I masturbate to Lifetime movies because that's a challenge, folks. I'm telling you right now. I watched this movie the other night. Melissa Gilbert, I shot 2 loads. You try that. That is not easy, folks. That is not easy. But no, I've always been like that. But you know, I'd like to meet another hot goth girlfriend again. It's tough. It's tough. When everything's open and the bars are open, it's going to be a challenge for me to get 6 feet within a woman. I know it's going to happen. I know they're going to. I'll have my vaccination cards and everything. They're like, set up to date. Really? Like, well, I have to get within the 6 feet to show you. No, that's the way it goes. And online's not any better. Oh, Tinder's the worst. Harry, you on Tinder?
No.
Okay, good. I thought I swiped right on you the other day.
No, that was a lesbian.
Yes, because lesbians are on Tinder trying to match with men. That happens all the time. So, you know, lesbians can match with their. I don't even want to get into it because I like older women. There's 3 types of people that find me attractive. Actually, I don't know if you're aware of this. 3 types of people: black women, gay men, and really old women. That's it. Black women love. I don't know what it is. They love me. I'm like the fat white girlfriend in reverse. I don't know what it is, but they love me. I've dated quite a few beautiful black women. I dated my ex-girlfriend LaShonda. I remember our tender moments. We were laying down, making out for the first time, and she asked me something I'd never been asked before in my life. She asked me how big my penis was, and the odd thing is I don't know the answer because I don't measure my penis like Perry Kurtz does every day. So I figured I'd whip it out and show her. And she looked it up and down and said, Mark, that's the most perfectly shaped penis I've ever seen in my life. Followed immediately by, it looks like it's never been used. And I don't know what a used penis looks like. I did this bit in New Orleans. The 72-year-old woman was in the front row. She's like, it looks like a boomerang. So if you see a boomerang, ladies, that's an experienced man.
Oh.
Gay guys like me. They love me. I wish I was gay. I really do. It's not hard. I could go right now, pick up a guy like that. A good-looking guy. It's the bear look. I got that big bear look. I was at a party. A bunch of people was at a party, and a bunch of guys were wearing big bear shirts. I said, oh, you guys like to go skiing? They're like, no. That's the kind of man we like. Big and hairy. And that's me, folks. But I've never had a woman say, you know what I like in a man? Kong. I want Kong. I've never heard that. I've never heard a woman say, you know what, I was watching Star Wars the other day. Harrison Ford's okay, but that Chewbacca. Oh, love that Chewie. Helicopters flying over my head, so I'll take that as an applause and laughter. Because who knows? But no, I like really old women love me. Once a woman turns 60, I'm suddenly attracted. I don't know if it's the glaucoma. I don't know if it's the dementia. I don't know what it is, but I dated a woman in Las Vegas, 67 years old, beautiful, beautiful. She didn't look a day over 58. She was hot. She was a former personal trainer. Oh, was it? Oh, oh. Perry doesn't even have any idea what she looks like. He's like, oh.
Well, you said personal trainer, so I know she's got to be in great shape.
Oh, she was in great shape. I swear, she was hard as a rock, and she was beautiful, beautiful. But it's weird because we hit it off. We hit it off right away. I'm over her house. We're playing pool. She's bending over. She got a skirt on. I'm getting really aroused. I'm getting ready to go. We're making out. Things are happening. And she says, wait, let me show you pictures of my grandchildren.
There you go.
That is not a mood enhancer, ladies. Just save it for after, please. But yeah, no. It was great. It was, it was. You know what? You know what's more pathetic than bragging about having sex with a 67-year-old woman? When a 67-year-old woman breaks up with you. When a 67-year-old woman says, you know what? I've got better things to do than fucking you. Like bingo. Like shuffleboard. Like needlepoint, you know? Like rubbing the varicose veins out of my legs. I've got better things to do than having sex with you. So that's my luck. That's my luck. I'm the perpetual friend. Steve, you're telling me friends are trying to hook you up? My friends never hook me up. My friends don't respect me at all. I used to have long hair. My friends told me I look like the wrestler Mankind. Now, if there's anybody listening, I assume people don't know who Mankind is. It's the wrestler so hideous he had to wear a mask over his face, and his finishing wrestling move was to take a sweat sock and shove it down the guy's throat. That's what my friends said I look like. But the long hair was not good. I shaved my head a couple of years ago. You remember that, Perry?
Yeah.
Because our mutual friend Ryan Talma, the nicest man in comedy, he had cancer, so I shaved my head in sympathy. I didn't do shit for Perry's cancer, but I did that for Ryan. So I had this bald head, and I had the goatee look, the bald head and the goatee look, which is a weird look because there's two types of people that have that look. It's gay guys and Trump supporters. And how you can tell them apart is whoever works out. The gay guys work out, the Trump supporters do not.
Right.
So I look like a Trump supporter. So it was a weird look. I thought I looked good. I looked like Goldberg the wrestler, going back to the wrestling thing, and it turned out I looked like Goldberg the accountant. It was not a good look. So I grew my hair back. But no, I'm the perpetual friend. I heard the 4 most evil words in the English language. Let's just be friends.
Oh.
Sounds good. Sounds good, right, Perry?
It sounds wonderful. Yeah.
I'm sure it sounded good in Nazi Germany when they said, "So I can take a shower." Sounds great. Not great. If you're in a POW camp in Afghanistan, they're like, "Come over here, we'll give you a shave." That's not good. That is not good. I hate being called the N-word by women. Nice. I would rather they call me the other N-word. At least I know that's an insult.
It's true. So I can take a shower.
Yeah, he's still 3 year jokes behind. But and it's funny that Perry was giving us lessons on how to do Zoom shows, and he's like, "You got to pause after every joke." I'm like, I don't do that. First of all, I'm just throwing out a lot of new materials, some old material. I'll tell you what. It was sad. The last year has been sad. Mother's Day's coming around again, which is good. I might be able to see my mother this year. So I couldn't last year. Last year's when everything happened. And you know what I gave my mother? And I love my mother. You know what I gave her for Mother's Day last year? A mask.
Oh.
How do you say I love you with a mask? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Mom, I love you. Cover your fucking face. Because you don't want to get anybody sick. What kind of a gift is that?
Wow.
What kind of a joke is that? I thought I've been trying to do that for a year live and on and just it's that the joke is a good joke. I just can't quite get the inflection down, but I'm gonna work on it. I'll tell you what does work. I got hired back. I got fired. I got rehired up my job. Now I work at home. That's the greatest. I love working at home. You just wear shorts. You wear pajama bottoms. You don't need. The only bad thing about working at home is if you're late. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you have to drive to an office, there's an excuse. There was traffic. I had to drop my kid off at school. Something happened. There's no excuse for not being able to roll over, open your eyes, and push a button on the computer. It's like, Mark, you're working at home. Why were you late? I was high. You got me. There's no other explanation. There really isn't. But yeah, I just Perry. I'm thinking I'm at the 20-minute mark right now.
Yeah, you're right there.
Okay, so let me.
So what?
No, it's okay. Trust me.
I
was about to do an hour, but
okay.
Trust.
What are you going to do
twice? Got to put her kid to bed. Melly's got to put her to bed, and Steve's got he's got a big Halo meetup coming up. So I want, and you're not doing anything. So, but who cares? But I've got to tell you something. No, I hope to find love. I was in love. I was in love with an Australian Gothic girl. Do you know how rare that is?
Ooh.
You know how rare that is? That's like the Swedish bikini team. It doesn't exist. She was an Australian Gothic girl with 40 double D breasts.
Ooh,
and hated
hello.
her breasts. I said, did you hit the titty lottery? What is wrong with your breasts? She says, Mark, when I lay down, they flop over on either side.
Right.
Yes! That's what they're supposed to do. It's that big a deal. I'll take your big breasts and hold them up and follow you around for the rest of my life. That's how much I love breasts. And I'm a great lover. That's what's sad about this last year, which there's been other years where I haven't had sex, but at least this year I had an excuse. But the sad part is I'm an amazing lover. I gave my ex-girlfriend the biggest orgasm she ever had in her life. And I know she wasn't faking because her nose started to bleed. I never thought I could top that. I had another girlfriend who, by the way, had 2 different sized breasts, C and D, asymmetrical. That's great. I love that. It's like having sex with 2 girls at once. Hello, big titty. Hello, even bigger titty. You can't lose. But I was making love to her, and she had chest pains. Now, Melanie's looking at me going, if you were on top of me, I'd have chest pains too. That's not why. I was working it. I gave her big orders. I heard sounds from her I never heard before, like, ah! Ah! I'm like, wow. You're having a big orgasm. She's like, I'm having a heart attack. Can you wait a minute? We're in the urgent care 10 minutes later. She's got chest pains. I have blue balls. This was 2010. So I had Obamacare, so I was served first. But she's okay now. She had a stent, but boy, those were the days. I can't end on that. It's not good. Melanie, I feel good that I'm the first one that hasn't.
I am
Melanie.
here.
I feel good that I'm the first one that hasn't hit on
now.
you.
Okay.
I'm the only one that hasn't hit on you on this entire show, but I thought you were wearing glasses for a second. That's why I was trying to see what was going on.
Yeah, I am wearing glasses.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that's my fetish. Because I love women with glasses. That's another fetish of mine. I love women with glasses because I figure their vision's impaired, so I have a shot. And everybody, all thousands of people watching on Facebook Live, all the thousands of comedians that want to come on the show. Let me tell you something. This is the weirdest show ever, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you, Perry.
My pleasure. Let's hear for Dark Mark.
Nice closer.
I actually consider Mark a dear friend. We go way, way back. And talking about breasts.
That makes one of us.
Yes. Mark met my ex-wife. Well, we're still married, and she had big breasts. You remember my wife's boobs?
How could I forget?
They were 44 triple G's. They were called that because you look at them and go, geez, those are some big titties. And he met her in the heyday.
funny.
When yep, I'm using that now. And he met her when she was like 27 or 28, when they were still up by her chest. Now they're hanging down below her waist. They look like long water balloons. They're just all stretched out. And I see all these
Nice.
women and they're getting these implants. They say, don't get the implants because gravity is stronger than your titties. And they're going to stretch out and you're going to be so miserable and you're going to be bent over. But yeah, when you run into some big tits, all right. I like the little ones better now because they're more sensitive. You know, and you don't have to put a car jack under them to hold them up. But
I've never complained about seeing a naked breast in my
No.
life, and I never will.
I think breasts are aside from a woman, are the second most beautiful things in the world. Women are God's best work of art. And then comes breasts. And everybody looks at titties. Everybody, men, women, we all look at titties, and I figure out why. It's because a titty was your first meal.
I'm
In
so
most
sorry I got
cases.
Perry on this tangent.
Sorry. Let's go in a co-tangent. Let's break off on this. So that was Mark White. Anybody have anything you want to say? Anybody else want to jump in? Want to talk to Mark? Or have you suffered enough?
I just joined TikTok, so you'll be seeing me twerking soon. Join me at Goth Comedian on all social media.
Yeah, somebody told me to go on TikTok and put pictures of my old feet. I said, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, like Danny DeVito does.
What?
Wait, do you mean TikTok or OnlyFans, Perry?
Oh,
Because they're
no,
very
they meant
different.
they meant OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You meant OnlyFans. Okay,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok. I just put up my TV stuff. They get like 150 hits. But yeah,
I think you should,
OnlyFans.
Perry, I think you should dance with your daughter on TikTok. People would love it.
No, she's not
Oh
interested.
no, that's true.
She's given up on
That's-
social media.
Yeah, Perry's on OnlyFan.
Well, if we lived in if you live in Alabama or Mississippi, it's called Only Family because they're all related down there. But
There
my
we go,
daughter.
yeah.
My daughter has started her own little Minecraft thing, and I think we're going to disconnect. Goodbye, Facebook. We've had enough of that. Let's, how do I quit that? Stop live stream.